Welcome to another episode of Ladies Kickin' Ass. Hey, I just wanted to jump on here real fast today. This is going to be a quickie, but just talk about a few things that I'm working on just heading into week 2 of the new year. Everybody's rocking and rolling. I think everybody's pretty motivated to get a lot of shit done, and I think that's fantastic. But what are we going to do to make sure that that excitement and motivation continues and that we're actually pursuing these things throughout the entire year, not just the first 15 days of January? So there was a few questions. I was going through a challenge that Brendan Burchard is doing right now in his Growth Day community. If you haven't checked out Growth Day, you totally have to do that. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It comes with a free trial period. It is truly a life-changing thing I have decided to become a part of. So if personal development is important to you, this is an incredible home for you. So check it out. But one of the things that he's talking about in his Transformation Week challenge was, what are 3 things I can do in the next 12 months to make me feel more alive? And I had to sit with this one for a minute because I'm like, I have been so damn busy running a business and raising babies. What makes me feel alive? And then I got really sad when I started thinking about that. And it really did make me tear up because I was like, how did I get to a point where I don't know what makes me feel alive? My work makes me feel alive. Being a mom makes me feel alive. But if I'm looking just at myself, if I'm going to do something that makes me feel more alive, what would that be? I know so many of us just run with a mile-long to-do list, just checking shit off as fast as possible and never celebrating what gets done, but always punishing ourselves at the end of the day for what we didn't. And something that I've put on my calendar starting at the beginning of this year is me time. So my answer, number uno, was 60 minutes of me time. 60 minutes. That's 1 hour a day. If I can't find 1 hour, I need to get up an hour earlier, go to bed an hour later. I need to go to bed an hour earlier so I can get up an hour earlier to get up an hour earlier. Yeah, I was saying it right. I have to have that time. When I look back in my life and the times that I felt the less stressed and the most put together and the most organized was when I had that me time. And I think we tend to, as we always talk about on this podcast, put ourselves towards the end of the list because everything else can wait, including us. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to take an approach this year where 60 minutes of me time isn't a luxury anymore. It is a necessity. It is just as urgent as everything at work and everything else that's going on in my home. So what am I going to do with the 60 minutes of me time? Well, whatever the hell I want. No, that sounds great. I'm going to really work hard on my journaling practice. I think that is something I've really wanted to get better and better and better at. I'm very surface level when I journal, and I really want to dive more into the way that I think about things and really process the things that I'm reading or the things I listen to or the things that happen that day or conversations that I have or plans that I would like to make. So really journaling and writing is a big one. Physical fitness is a big one. I know by the end of the day, I'm like, I don't have time for that. I always have time to go for a walk. I always have time to do something to move my body. I need to get my ass out of this chair and I need to make time for that. So no less than 30 to 45 minutes a day of just moving your body. Even if it's going for a walk, go for a walk and listen to that podcast you want to listen to. Go for a walk and just be silent and think. That's a big deal for me. And I think that a lot of people, that's not hard for them, but I think for a lot of people, it really is. So maybe that's even a challenge. And my other thing is reading one chapter a day in my book. My goal this year is to read one book a week, and I plan on sharing those books with you when I do read those. I have finished my week one book already. It is called Powerful by Patty McCord, and I will put a link to that in the show notes as well. If you are building a team or building a business, or you desire to do that at any point in time, it is an incredible read. If you listen to it on Audible on about 1.3 speed, which is my normal speed, it's about a 4-hour listen. It's a little tiny, cute red book. I had to buy the actual book after I listened to it too, because there's so many cool topics in there to even bring into my team and to coach and teach my team on. So definitely reading, and I'm looking forward to being able to provide some more content on those things that I am reading with you here on the podcast. It's just really crucial for me that I am feeding my brain, that I'm feeding my body, that I'm moving around, and that I take the time to do that. Another one of those is like just stopping, making sure that I stop and set an alarm for lunch. Like, how many of you struggle with that? Awful. I'm so awful. I will go to work and I will work all the way through till I have to leave to go pick my kids up. And then it's 3 o'clock by the time I get home and I'm starving. And then I eat and then I want to eat dinner again. And it's just a big old mess. I just need to get on regular nutritional, I'm going to stop and take care and fuel my body sessions, if you will. I think that's incredibly important. And I think a lot of us women are not great at doing that for ourselves. So we definitely need to get better at that. Another one on my 3 things that I can do to feel more alive each day is making more time to read with my kids. Last night, we all piled on my bed and was reading the new Cat Kid Club book from Dave Pilkey. He's our favorite. We love good comic books. And it's just soul food to read to my kids and to just lay there after we've been reading and just have conversations with them. And nothing lights me up more than that. At the end of the day, it's just a great way to close out the day. Also, spending time with my husband that doesn't include watching television, but actually sitting and having conversations. We're not real good at that. So I'm really going to try to work hard on that this year, because I think I definitely need a little bit of more of that in my life. And I know a lot of times we think, well, we're spending time with them because we're sitting with them and we're either got a TV blaring in our face or we're sitting there next to each other on our phones and we're not connecting. And being present is something I really want to work on this year. So have a conversation with your partner or your spouse and say, look, this is something that's really important to me. Do you think we could make this happen? Because sometimes we think that because we're thinking something, they should just automatically know what we're thinking. And that's not always the case. It's rarely the case, if we're being real honest. So just having that conversation about how important that is to you, if this is something that you want to work on in your relationship too. And the other thing that I really want to work on this year is I want to reach out to one person every morning with a text message of something kind and uplifting. And I know a lot of people have like a gratitude practice. And this is kind of going to be like my gratitude practice. I'm really thankful for this person. And I want to tell them something that I'm thankful for about them. Even just reach out to somebody and let them know that you were thinking of them. I know when people do that for me that I don't hear from all the time, gosh, it makes you feel so good. It truly can just be the highlight of your day. And so if I can try to spread kindness in this very sad and often cruel world that we live in, I feel like I've done a good deed every day. And so I fully plan on starting that and doing that. Actually, I already did this morning. So I plan to be consistent with that moving forward. I really think it would be incredible to be able to compile all of those things that you send out to people and just, look at how freaking blessed we all are to have someone we can reach out to, a different person, every single day of the year and tell them something great about themselves. And thank them for their kindness or their friendship or their camaraderie, or, if they're just a colleague at work or, somebody you met from years ago. Maybe you got some old high school friends that are still in your phone that you haven't talked to for a long time. Shoot them a text. Tell them thanks for being who they are. Something, a funny memory that you remember about that. I love that when I get stuff from my friends from high school and somebody will start mentioning something really stupid or funny that we did when we were kids, and just brings you back to that place of joy and aliveness. So I would challenge you this week to implement something that will make you feel more alive this year. Whether that's going on trips, maybe just shutting your computer off by 7 o'clock and not doing anything else. Maybe it's that you give up something that consumes too much of your time and it's not good for you. Maybe it's deciding to do something different this year. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear what you're working on. I'm going to make a post about this too on social media. I'd love for you to shoot me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn and let me know what it is that you're working on. What are those 3 things that make you come alive? Let's be supportive of each other in our Facebook community at Ladies Kickin Ass and share what the 3 things are that we're going to work on this year to make us feel more alive. I just really feel like our world needs more conversations around this. Our world needs less conversations around fear and the recession and shitty things are going to happen to us. But really, if we can spread some kindness and we can spread some hope and we can bring joy back to our lives, why not? Thanks for listening, ladies. I can't wait to hear what you're working on to make you feel more alive this year.